So we all know that one team that just completely screws over our brackets. UMBC.
College basketball. UMBC makes history in Charlotte.
These can be bittersweet moments, and today I'm going to count down the top 5 sleeper teams that could potentially be in the March Madness bracket. Before I kick off the most accurate list ever for the top 5 sleeper teams, we'll go with 2 honorable mentions. First one off is Wright State. They have a junior. He looks kind of funky. He's a center. Ludon Love. This is not going to be the first time I butcher someone's name in this video. He's averaging 16.3 points per game, 9.7 rebounds per game, 1.4 blocks. Wright State overall is averaging 81.4 points per game, which is very high in the nation. Also averaging 40.2 rebounds per game, which is also pretty good. Their only knock, they have played nobody, and they've also lost a few games. So if you want to be risky, you want to be bold, and want to pick a 15 seed to be a 2 seed, preferably against San Diego State, Wright State is the team to pick. My second honorable mention, and the team I'd probably put at number 6, I might be a homer on this one, West Virginia University. They're 25th in rebounds with 40.4. They're 16th in opposition points per game with 62.4. They are a very good defensive team that gets a lot of boards. I kind of just summed up the stats that I just said. Their main guy is Oscar Shiwebi. I think I said that right. He's averaging 9.3 rebounds and 11.2 points along with another block per game. He's a freshman, and it gets me to the next point, but West Virginia is a very young team, so they could get easily upset if they're a higher seed. They're not a great ball movement team, and there's no one on the team who can really shoot threes. Miles McBride was the closest thing to that, and he has been very inconsistent this year. This is more of a team for the future, but I mean, they could make some upsets early on. Kicking it off at number 5 are BYU Cougars. If you could describe them in 2 words, it'd be star power for sure. They're led by Yoli. I'm gonna butcher it. I probably butchered it every single time. It's Yoli Childs, but he's averaging 22 points per game, 8.9 rebounds per game, 2 assists, and he's averaging out to be about a 59% field goal shooter, which is very impressive. He was out the first 9 games of the season for talking with an EA agent last spring, and of course the NCAA just cannot tolerate that. That's where quite a few BYU's losses came from. Their positives are ball movement and scoring, with also decent defense, and that usually fares pretty well in the tournament. Also with, a very good player, one of the best players in the nation. Earlier this year, they beat the number 1 Gonzaga Bulldogs in a commanding fashion, and then 6 out of their 7 losses were actually against pretty good teams, so BYU doesn't really have a lot of bad losses. Now coming in at number 4 is Stephen F. Austin. At the time I'm recording this, they are 27-3. Their most notable game this season was beating Duke 85-83. Duke was number 1 at the time, at Cameron Indoor Stadium. Stephen F. Austin is first in steals per game with 9.8. They are 6th in points per game with 81 on the dot. Their star player is Kevon Harris. He's a senior guard. He's averaging 17.8 points per game, 5.8 rebounds per game, 1.5 steals per game, and he's shooting 47% from the field. So, with all these upsides, why is Stephen F. Austin so low? Well, it's because they have the 5th most turnovers per game. It's at 17.4. And they are 17th most in fouls per game with 21. They're an experienced team. They also turn the ball over a lot. They're a 3-and-D kind of team that is very shaky when it comes to offense. Yes, we'll score a lot, but if they run into a team like Virginia who plays lights-out defense, or Baylor, there's not going to be a chance for an upset because we turn the ball over so much. Also, it's very tough for me to show love to a team that, beat my Mountaineers in a tournament, and it's a stupid upset. Coming in at number 3 are the Providence Friars. They're an all-around team that plays very well in the spotlight. They're also an older and experienced team. Now, they went 19-12 this year, not counting the conference tournament. They lost to teams such as Northwestern, who's at the bottom in the Big Ten, Pennsylvania, Long Beach State, Charleston, and St. John's. The thing is, we've also split this year with Butler, Seton Hall, Villanova, and they beat Creighton by 17 points. That was very impressive. They also swept Marquette, who's probably going to make the tournament. The thing is, they need more help for senior Luane Pipkins and senior guard Alpha Diallo, who leads in every single important category for the team, other than assists. They're a high-risk, high-reward team. They could make some noise in the tournament. They could also get embarrassed in the first round. Coming in at number 2 are the Atlantic Sun champions, the Liberty Flames. They beat Mississippi State last year in the tournament as a 12 seed. I mean, they got a lot of their players back. They are so slow to watch. They're just a slow-paced team, make few mistakes. In fact, they're first in turnovers with 9.5 per game. That's the least in the NCAA. They play a lot of the possession game where you don't get a lot of possessions, but neither do they, but they control the ball. And they've allowed 54.7 points per game, which is the second fewest in the nation, behind the Virginia Cavaliers. Now coming in at number 1 is Eastern Tennessee State University, the Southern Conference champs. They're an all-around team that will make noise in the tournament for sure. They're an efficient scoring team. They make a lot of their shots inside of the paint. They're fast-paced, and they are great in transition for offense. They're a deep team that is well-rounded, and also keep an eye out for guards Trey Boyd and Bo Hodges. They can also guard the perimeter pretty well. It's really tough to find a downside to this team. Also, earlier in the season, they kept it really close with the Jayhawks near the end of the game when the Jayhawks were number 1. And that ends the top 5 Cinderella list for teams in March Madness. Let's give a huge shout out to Northern Iowa University, a team that I was definitely going to put on this list until they lost to some nobody team. I think it was Drake in the first round of their conference tournament, so shout out to them for being in NIT and screwing over some of my audio. Anyways, make sure to check out our Instagram page at @thepractice_squad. Show some love by liking, subscribing, and obviously commenting. Commenting would be the best. And I will see you guys later for some more March Madness content.
Pop at your party with a bust down. With a beamer in the way, I take a bust down. I just saw her in the arena in the uptown. Put her fingers up in here, get you run down.